She absolutely destroyed this man. Oh my goodness. So I think we are all at the moment in time admitting that Bryon Donalds is a clown. I think that's a general consensus of actual Republicans and any Democrat, that this guy's simply a clown. Because anyone who tries to portray Jim Crow era in any form of positive light, that's what they are. They're a clown and they're racist. And yes, there are black, anti-black racists. We're speaking about one currently, Bryon Donalds. Nevertheless, what he tries to employ, which is what many, white conservatives, what many of their white ignorants love to engage in, and that's just semantics, right? They love this rhetorical ploy that they engage with their audiences. For example, it's tantamount to saying, well, you know what? Black people stink. They also have low impulse control. And you know what? They also, the property value, they cause the property value to go down. You know what? I can't stand their music and I can't stand what they look like. And someone who's hearing this simply says, so what you're saying is that you hate black people. Is that what you're saying? And then the other person responds, what? What? I hate black people? I never said that. I never said that at all. Okay. Where in anything did I say, okay, did I say I hate black people? Show me where I said I hated black people, right? And it's just this nonsense. The problem is that Bryon Donalds has grown so accustomed to speaking to low IQ and low intelligent and low informed voters, right, that he forgets that the rest of us can hear him. The rest of us who don't have an IQ below room temperature understand what implications are. We understand what insinuations are. Those are words that his voter base doesn't understand. I say that to say this in regards to Joy Reid's interview with Bryon Donalds, because Joy Reid, I'm not the biggest fan of Joy Reid, but she gave him that work, bruh. She gave him that work and made him look like a complete fool, a complete dolt, which is exactly what he is. He's nothing more than a proxy for white ignorance of the Republican Party. That's how they treat him and that's how he acts. So in this interview, she's talking about, like, why did you bring up Jim Crow, right? It's the same thing. Of all the things you can mention is Jim Crow. But of course, that's what he goes to. He does the same thing that the Democrats go to. They try to always constantly bring up civil rights, or they bring up this, or, they'll put you back in chains, things like that. It's the same thing that the Republicans do. It's the same thing. So he tries to bring up a Jim Crow, and it backfires. It backfires on him because people, unfortunately, are listening to the words that come out of his mouth because he is in somehow, some way in our United States government. Lord help us. This is a sure sign of idiocracy. But I digress. So he goes on to splaining, right? He's on this world tour of splaining of what he meant by, black people were together in Jim Crow, okay? Black people were voting conservative during Jim Crow. And it's like, what's the point you trying to make? We all know the point he's trying to make, that black people were better off during Jim Crow than after Jim Crow. That's the point that he's implying, insinuating, suggesting, hinting at, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. That's what he's going for. And of course, his white ignorant base, they love it. Oh yeah, Jim Crow, we love that era. That's being a black Republican in a nutshell. So she calls him out on this.
You brought up Jim Crow. So why did you use Jim Crow specifically as your reference? You did that. No one else did that. You did it.
Oh, I did. We were having a conversation, just talking as, black people in Philadelphia. But if you're going to use the chronological timeline of America before the Great Society and Lyndon Johnson's time period, you had, unfortunately, the Jim Crow era in America. During that time period, the marriage rates of black Americans was significantly higher than any other time since then in American history. So it is a divergence if you're talking about marriage rates in the black community. They have plummeted.
And he starts explaining away, well, it's about, the father being there in the household and protection and blah, blah, blah. So she brings up a story that happened during the Jim Crow era.
Roughly from 1867 after the Civil War to 1968. Is there a specific period between 1867 and 1968 that you thought was this golden era for black families, or a time that was good for black families?
During Jim Crow, the black family was together. That's right. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people always have been conservative-minded, but more black people voted conservatively.
Okay, so now I'm going to go back. You said during Jim Crow, the black family was together. What was the authority of the black father in the black family during Jim Crow?
And so having the black man in the home was about first protecting the mom and protecting the kids. Incredibly important. It was the leadership in the home.
And in the story, she portrays as far as this father being powerless for his son, who had a crush on this, this non-black chick at the store and wrote a little Valentine's Day letter or whatnot. The father found out, got the boy, took the father from the house. Now, during that time, there was nothing you can do, right? Either you all go to heaven or one of you goes to heaven. It just depends on how, the wicked, the lineage of evil felt at that time. So this white father threatens the boy and threatens the father. It's like, hey, you can either jump off or I can send you to heaven. Pew, pew. Boy jumps off this cliff, falls in the lake, doesn't make it, right? And he forced the father to see this. And she asked him, how does that benefit the black family? How is being together? How did that help? The father being there. How did that help when he was powerless in that scenario? When black men were powerless in many situations in dealing with this lineage of evil.
During the Jim Crow era, the importance of having a black man in the home was to protect his family and to protect his wife. I actually spoke with somebody who lived through Jim Crow. Her name is Merle Evers Williams. And Merle quoted to me a man named Charles Silverman, who wrote in Crisis in Black and White, that in 1890, the year that the Mississippi Constitution was written, the policy of crushing out the manhood of the Negro citizens was to be carried out with success. So the man in the home during Jim Crow had no rights, could not protect his wife from rape, could not protect his son from lynching. So again, why would you quote that era and say that at that time, the family all being in the home together was something we should think of as a good thing?
Now, of course, what he tried to do, he tries to explain away. Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, it's good to have a two-parent household because of protection and because of finances and because of resources.
All I was talking about, Joy,
what was the benefit of a man in the family? Again, sir, I'm sorry, I let you talk for a long time. Sorry, no. If a black man, a black father, could not protect his wife, his son, or himself from lynching and violence, how is him being in the home mean that is an era that was better for the black family, or that we should think of as a good thing?
First of all, Joy, I never said that it was better for black people in Jim Crow. I have never said that, and even my own words say that.
During Jim Crow, the black family was together. That's right. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people always have been conservative-minded, but more black people voted conservatively.
Well, you know what? Black people stink. They also have low impulse control. And you know what? They also, the property value, they cause the property value to go down. You know what? I can't stand their music and I can't stand what they look like. And someone who's hearing this simply says, so what you're saying is that you hate black people. Is that what you're saying? And then the other person responds, what? I hate black people? I never said that. I never said that at all. Okay. Where in anything did I say, okay, did I say I hate black people? Show me where I said I hated black people.
If you're talking about the importance of black fathers in the home, or frankly, all fathers in the home, it is always for the betterment of children to have leadership. Yes, for safety. So having two people in the home to help provide the economic needs for those children so the family can succeed.
So he completely tries to obfuscate the point that she's making, which is what you are saying is nonsense. You trying to glorify or downplay at best a Jim Crow period for black people is foolishness. That is nothing more than white ignorant propaganda. That is nothing more than fodder for your base at the detriment of your people, right? That's crazy. You're going to do all this tap dancing at the detriment of people of your own It's insane. It's really insane when they talk about voting against your self-interest. But nevertheless, he tries and say that. However, one thing that I think that people aren't picking up on, and I find is hysterical, is that he's actually praising Joe Biden. He does it in the clip. And the moment when he does that is when he says, well, because of the, Jim Crow and after Jim Crow and the welfare system, blah, 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 black marriages have gone down. They're now since going up.
The marriage rates of Black Americans was significantly higher than any other time since then in American history. So it is a divergence if you're talking about marriage rates in the Black community. They have plummeted. And what we've seen recently in America, which is a very good thing we should all celebrate, is that the marriage rates in the Black community are rising again.
So what you're telling me is that Black marriages under the Biden administration are going up? Is that what you're telling me? It sounds like he's trying to champion for Joe Biden. I'm surprised that no Democrat, no liberal, no independent, conservative, Republican has said anything about that. It's like, well, it sounds like honestly, if I was Joe Biden, I would use that. I would use that in my ad. Like, hey, Black families are getting married under my administration. But nevertheless, all this foolishness about the Jim Crow and blacks were doing better and it was because of welfare and all that. That's utter nonsense. That's what that is. Utter foolishness. It is drivel that has been propagated throughout the years with no shredded evidence to suggest as such, right? If we're going to talk about Jim Crow and everything, and then after that, like, he's completely omitting as far as the no-fault divorce. He's completely omitting a litany of factors. And once you start digging into a lot of these narratives, because that's what they are, they fall apart at the facts because they've been spun so many times that people don't even know what the truth is. So I'm so glad that Reid destroyed this, man. And she finishes off with the cherry on top of this stupid Sambo Sunday. And that is asking him, well, would you have your family during Jim Crow South? Would you be able to defend your family during Jim Crow South? Where would your family be, Bryon Donalds?
During Jim Crow, could your family have
Sure.
existed? You are in an interracial marriage. Your wife is a white conservative activist. Could your family have existed at all during Jim Crow?
And the joke is that Bryon Donalds is married to a white woman. And of course, she puts him on blast and forces him to say, well, no, I wouldn't have my family and everything. It's the awkwardness of him admitting the foolishness of him constantly talking about, well, the Black family did the Black family, blah, blah, blah.
No, it could not, Joy. We all know that. But that's why I am blessed to live in America today as opposed to America during that time.
Please, stop it, bro. Stop it. Your children, all three of your boys, bro, I'm sure they're ashamed of you. They're ashamed of you. How can you, as far as look up to your father when your father is a tap dancing minstrel show for white ignorance? That has got to be a fate worse than death. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe, look, that's not what he meant, okay? That's not what he just saying that the Black family were together during Jim Crow South. That's what he was talking about. Okay, so if you happen to believe that, or if you happen to believe, is the Black family being together good? Yeah? What are we talking about? What are we talking about here? So he's trying to correlate something good and positive with something that was negative and horrendous. Why? He's not highlighting the contrast of the two. He's just merely saying Black families were better off because that would be better off under the South, which any reasonable person would link that you're trying to downplay Jim Crow. You're trying to act as if Black families aren't together now. Anyways, I can go on. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you want to disagree, Friday through Sunday, you know where to find me. Call in, stop being a coward. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And all that fun stuff. This ending has been butchered. Until next time, guys, be amazing. Show me where I said I hated Black people.